Welcome students to the fourth section in leaf modifications where we look at the leaf surface. The first case is what's called glaucous, and here it's very easy to discern in the sense that the leaf surface looks like it's scalded or varnished. It's very smooth, and a very good example is people. A case very similar to glaucous, but a little different is glabrous, where even though the surface is smooth, it looks dull. I mean, it's not that shiny, and the leaves of banyan tree is a very good example of the glabrous surface. The third case we look into is the glandular, and as the name itself explains, it means that the leaf surface has secretions by glands, and secretions are mostly non-sticky. An example is citrus. Fourth case, again similar to the third one, but the difference being that secretions are sticky. That's why we call glutinous, and example is tobacco. Fifth case is quite easy to discern in the sense that the leaf surface is rough. I mean, one point to note is that maybe the leaf looks smooth or something, but it's rough to touch, and we call it scabrous. And a good example of a scabrous leaf is fig. Another case is what is called rugose, and once again it will be more easy to discern a rugose leaf by touching it, because the surface is wrinkled. A good example of a rugose leaf is rugose. Another case is this case is it's something which we should note very carefully, in the sense that mealy. Now why I have stated like that is because there is a condition where due to a particular insect infection, leaves may look mealy. So one should be very clear that we are not dealing with such a case. Here mealy means that the leaf surface has small scales on it, and so it looks like having small scales, and so that's the meaning of it. Small scales. And a good example is glaucous. And the eighth case is what is called hoary, and it's quite interesting. And word is quite interesting. And hoary means that a kind of grayish white surface. Grayish white surface. Now we go on to the last case in this particular section. And, it has its own subdivisions. That's because of it. That is hairy. Hairy, of course, it's quite easy to understand, in the sense that presence of hairs on the surface. So this This subclassification is based on what kind of hairs and how do they look and things like that. So in the case of tomato, we have a very interesting name coming up there. It's pubescent, and I'm sure most of you will be knowing that this word is not actually used in plant biology, but it's quite used in the case of as human beings. That is when the child grows into pubescence. So, anyway, it simply means very short hairs. And a good example, as I already mentioned, is tomato. Second case is something more we call vellus. And it simply means very long and dense hairs. And a good example is lookus. Here it's tomato. Another interesting case is what is called hispid. Hispid means that the hairs are quite fine and it's quite erect in the sense that all of them look quite similar. Of course, one has to be an expert to differentiate all these kinds of modifications naturally. And a good example of a hispid case is a plant called eclipta. Another subdivision, again dealing with this hairy, the presence of hairs, is what is called hispid. So HISPAD, and here the hairs are quite bristly. I mean, it looks like bristles, and a good example is cucurbita. So these are the important kinds of modifications as far as the leaf surface is concerned, and we can have a look at some particular cases. So this is a case of the shiny leaf, and you can see it, the glaucous. And we have the hispid case, which I just mentioned as a hair thing. And here you can see that the mealy leaf, of course, the rugose case, which is quite wrinkled, and the scabrous, which means that it's quite rough to touch. So in the next session, we'll be looking at shape or how the lamella looks, and that's quite important as far as leaf modifications is concerned. Thank you.